What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another hard-hitting episode of The Other Side with Mike G, the show where the gloves come off, but the heart always stays on the sleeve. Today's guest has walked through fire inside steel cages for the Bellator and the UFC, and now wants to get into the bare knuckle fighting championship, if you can imagine that. He's known as Gutter, but he is in no way low level. Fans of The Other Side, please welcome Matt Van Buren. How's it going, man?
Good. How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. I ask everybody, what was life like growing up? Were you the quiet, calm kid, or were you the wild child?
Oh, I was definitely the wild child, the black sheep, if you will. Definitely, always marched was definitely different than my brothers, and kind of marched to my own beat, so to speak.
Okay. Um, what is your earliest memory, not necessarily of fighting, but of combat sports or martial arts in general? And you can't say Karate Kid.
I did taekwondo for a little bit when I
Okay.
was a kid. Yeah, when I was young, my parents had me in taekwondo.
What was the
Um,
reason for getting into Taekwondo? Was it fitness, exercise? Was somebody bullying you?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
Something to
Couldn't
do,
tell
get you
you.
out of the house?
Yeah, I'd have to run that one by my mom. I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Um,
Maybe it was something I wanted to do, but can't tell you that far back.
right. Do you remember the first fight you were in?
I don't remember the first fight, but first fight I was in, it was probably with my brother, my older brother. We used to fight, you know, as kids, but it was either
Mhm.
him. It was most likely it could have been him or um somebody from the neighborhood. But no, I don't remember the first fight I was in.
Okay. Who if you had to say maybe your like for martial arts was influenced by someone, maybe a celebrity or an athlete, who would that be?
Hmm.
Who did you want to be like starting out?
I don't know that I wanted to be like anybody starting out. I just kind of wanted to fight, But we were kids, we used to fight in high school and stuff a little bit and box. But me and my buddies, we used to always watch UFC. So definitely like the Chuck Liddell Rampage. We used to watch the old Pride fights.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe those guys, if I had to pick my Rampage or Chuck or
Okay.
um, Dwayne Ludwig, Boss Rutan, the
Yeah.
old school fights. I remember watching those when I was like 16 years old.
Okay. Was there a moment in your life as a young man where you said, "Okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be a fighter."
Yeah, that wasn't. I mean, I don't know how young you consider a young man, but that thought didn't come up till I was about 20 years old,
Okay. How did that
and
come about?
I had a lot of. I was running with the wrong crowd. Well, pretty much growing up, I was running with the wrong crowd. A lot of guys doing drugs, getting in trouble. And so around that time is when I was looking for kind of like a more positive outlet, And
Hmm.
I had a buddy who he went to another school that I had met through a friend, and he was into like Muay Thai, and he had taken some fights in Virginia Beach around the area, done some Muay
Hmm.
Thai and MMA fights. And I was like, man, I was, always liked fighting. I was like, man, I want to start training, and I want to take some fights. I was
Hmm.
like, I'm going to start training to stay out of trouble. So I reached out to him and found a gym in Virginia Beach and started training there. And um, it just became an addiction after that. I started trained for like 6 months. I had my first amateur MMA fight. I was a 20-year-old kid. I fought this 40-year-old Marine up in Richmond, Virginia,
Woo.
in an open class, like heavyweight tournament.
Hmm.
And the guy had already had like 6 or 7 MMA fights, and there was nobody else in the division. It was for like a North WKA. It was a WKA tournament type of deal. And so my very first fight, I fought this like 40-year-old Marine. I was 20-year-old kid, and I beat him. And then, I fought again like 2 weeks later in Virginia Beach and knocked this guy out in like 20 seconds. And then from there, it was just on. I was like, I'm going all in,
You were
and I
hooked right
just,
away, weren't you?
yeah, yep. And I just, as time went on, I just started getting more and more disciplined with my training and my diet and nutrition. And it eventually led me to, move to California 5 years later.
Those early days in the gym when you started training with guys who were probably better than you, how humbling was that experience?
Very humbling. Yeah, it was. I remember specifically, like, I had gone to, because when I was living in Virginia, I had gone to Colorado and Vegas and trained at a couple other gyms, some big gyms. Very humbling experience. And then I went and trained out in California and Vegas with Team Alliance and some of those guys. And
Okay.
then it was like that was the first time well, I don't know if it was the first time. I trained with some bigger guys, but that was the first time where I kind of realized, like, yeah, if you're gonna fight, like, you got to get out of where you're at, because
Hmm.
it's a whole nother level. Even right now to this day, like, I could go open a mixed martial arts gym in Virginia Beach, and there's only one other guy around there that I can think of that's really like a real MMA type of guy that's
Hmm.
accomplished. But the sport's always been way behind in Virginia, you know.
It's the
So
same way here in Arkansas.
yeah, and then like when you compare it to California or something, it was just
Hmm.
once I got around the constant level of training partners and coaching, I was like, "This is no way I can compete." Because I was with Bellator at the time.
Hmm.
I was already like 5-0 as a pro and had like 2 wins in Bellator. And I was like, "Man, there ain't no way I'm gonna do anything with this if I don't get
Yeah.
around guys like this every day." And that's when I realized I had to move.
Okay. You mentioned Bellator. You began your career at 3-0, and then you got the call to join Bellator. Your debut came against Nick Nichols in 2011 at Bellator 52, I think it was. Walk me through that fight and the finishing sequence.
Oh shit. Uh, I don't even. I can't walk you through the fight because it's a vague memory at this point. But
Second round knockout, if I remember.
yeah, I think I remember at some point I had his back in the second round and was hitting him from behind and kind of TKO'd him.
Okay.
I think that's how the fight ended, but I can't tell you too much before that. I think he had me in a headlock for like a minute in the first round. He
Hmm.
had me in like a bulldog headlock,
Yep.
and I was like,
Forever.
yeah. I didn't really
Yeah.
know. I didn't really know how to get out of it too well at that
Is that
point.
one of those situations where it's just like I'm gonna hold on and wait for something?
Oh shit, I don't even know. It was just probably not the best technique on my end trying to get out of it, but I think shit, I don't remember how I got out of it, but about to go WWE mode and pick him up and slam him.
Pride mode.
Yeah,
Rampage Ricardo Arona.
yeah. So, but I remember getting his back at some point in the second round and hitting him with some hard shots and TKOing him. Yeah.
Okay. Um, your next fight in Bellator was at Bellator 57. You took on Sean Levesque. This time the finish came even quicker. Uh, do you remember how that fight played out and how you were feeling at that point in your career?
I do, yeah. I was actually really confident going into that fight. He was a hockey player, supposed to be a real tough guy, and I remember actually putting on a really good performance that fight. I was sticking and moving on him and angling, and he couldn't really hit me.
Hmm.
And then at one point, I sat him down and just followed him to the ground. Um, got on top of him and just started going to work. Mounted him, and then he gave his back up, and I choked him.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
kind
a
of, it was kind of
nice
like a
performance.
Yeah, it was kind of textbook. Couldn't ask
Hmm.
for much more than that.
Yeah, that was a
But
great fight. Um,
yeah,
unf-
good time. That was up in Canada.
yeah. Unfortunately, your next three fights, you went 1-2 before getting the call to be on the Ultimate Fighter. How
Mhm.
did that call come about?
Eric Del Fiero kind of set
Okay.
that up because Dominic Cruz had already done the show,
Hmm.
and we had heard about it, and I think Eric had reached out to somebody and told him that I was going, and he kind of just told me before I went. He was like, "Look, this isn't like a regular job interview, you know." He's like these people are gonna say stuff to you, and they're gonna try to fuck with you. I always remember him telling me this. He's like, they're gonna say stuff with you, and they're gonna try to fuck with you. And he was like, don't talk to them like a boss or job. He's like, talk to them like you would talk to anybody else.
Hmm.
He's like, this is a reality TV show. I remember him saying that, and like kind of like that stuck with me when I went. So, because it's difficult, you know, because you're like talking to all these TV production people, and you're thinking like, you know, you need to be all like super respectful and prim and proper, but um,
They don't want that on the show.
yeah, yeah. So if you want, do you want me to kind of go into how that went down, how all
Sure,
that
yeah,
went
I'd
down?
love to hear all about it.
Yeah. So I remember him telling me that, and then you know the tryouts were in Indianapolis, so I did whatever I had to do to get in the tryouts. Went out to the tryouts. You know, they had us grapple a little bit, hit
Hmm.
pads or something, I think, and then they move us on to the interview. I don't remember the dude's name, but this one guy, the one I guess one of the TV guys, he was interviewing me or whatever, and uh, he was kind of being a cocksucker, and he was like, he said something where he was kind of like he was talking down to me as a fighter or something, and he's like, he said some shit, and then he was like, well, you're 1-2, and you know your last three fights or where he said something I can't remember aside from that, but it was like kind of being a smartass. And the
Hmm.
first, and I was like, first thing to say, I was like, bro, how many fucking fights have you had? First of all, let's talk about that. Like, you ever been in a fight? You know what I mean? I was like, I don't think so. So, and I said, yeah, shit happens. I said, you know what? I said I did lose my two of my last three fights, but I said I guarantee you I would have beat those guys fucking 8 out of 10 times. And I said I guarantee you where the fuck I'm at right now, you put me on the show, I'm gonna make it to the end, guarantee. And I think when I said that, he was just kind of like, damn, you know, it's like that's like what he wanted to hear, you know.
Yeah.
So
I've
because I
had 10
kind
or
of, I
12
kind of
guys.
told him off, like he could tell I was pissed. So I just kind of basically I basically told him to fuck off without telling him to fuck off. You know what I mean?
Right? I've had several
So
guys on now that were on the Ultimate Fighter, and a lot of them have told me about kind of the tryout interview process. And I'm starting to think that the guys doing those interviews were purposely trying to get reactions out of
yeah,
you guys to see how you would be on the show.
yeah, and they were, and that's what Eric had told me
Hmm.
because basically, like they want to make sure that you know, because at the end of the day, it's not like the way Eric explained to me. It's not necessarily the best fighters that
Hmm.
make it onto this show. It's the best fighters for this TV show that make it on the
Hmm.
show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's kind of like the whole package, and they basically just want to make sure that if somebody's talking shit to you in the house, you're not gonna just shell up and whatever. Like
Hmm.
you're gonna, you know what I mean? You're not gonna hold back anything if somebody's saying something to you. I think
That
is
you'll
what they're
create
looking
good
for.
TV.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna create good TV, you
Yeah.
know, and so yep.
Were you intimidated at all at the idea of being on television?
No, not
No,
really.
okay. I mean, in
Mm.
a different way. I know in the cage you're on
I mean,
television, but
yeah,
that's way different.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure I was somewhat nervous for the process and all that, but I mean, I remember once it was just I don't know, it's kind of weird, but once we got on the show, we're actually filming and stuff. I really wasn't thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's kind of weird though, like when the show's over and then you like go back and you watch it and you like oh shit, you know I remember that. You know, it's like
It's a lot of
it was
editing.
kind of it was a weird, yeah, it was a weird experience, man. It was like Yeah, it was like Hunger Games or something. Like being in, it's like being in luxury prison for 6 weeks.
Hmm.
You know?
One of the parts of that I want to know about is when everybody gets to the house and everybody's picked their beds and their spots and kind of you got your stuff put down where it's going to be and you're settled in and you're kind of looking around and getting to know everyone. What went through your mind? Were you excited for the training? Were you like, oh my God, these guys are crazy? Kind of take me through your mindset.
Um, yeah, I was just excited for the whole thing. You know, I was excited for the training. I was excited for the experience. Yeah, it's just, pretty exciting overall. Really, I would say.
How
Like,
happy
fuck,
were you to be on Team Edgar?
as I was actually really happy. You know, I love BJ.
Hmm.
Everybody loves BJ, right? But as much as I love BJ, I love Frankie too. And I wanted to be on Frankie's team because I had a suspicion that the training was going to be much better and better structured on Frankie's team than it was on BJ's team.
Hmm.
And that's how it ended up going down from, what I had heard from some of the other guys. So yeah, I was very happy that I got to be on Frankie's team. That's where I wanted to be ultimately.
Anytime somebody's been on in the tough house, I have to ask this question. With all the crazy stuff that they show on TV that takes place inside the house, do you have any behind the scenes stuff that maybe didn't make it into one of the episodes?
Mm.
Funny, crazy, insane that maybe you can share?
I don't have the best memory, bro. I'd have to pull out a notebook and maybe try to find something. So I
Gotcha.
can't tell you. I can't tell you that.
Okay. Let's see here. You make it through the house, through the exhibition fights, all the way to the finals to face Corey Anderson. We all see how far he's gone. What was
Yeah.
the game plan going into that fight, and how confident were you going in? Truthfully, we all know everybody knows they're going to win every fight.
Yeah. Right. To be honest, and I hate to even say this, but it was a good learning experience for me. But I kind of fucked myself right before the fight started. So, and it was after this fight I saw a sports psychologist. But the game plan with Corey, um, and I wouldn't. If you ask me, I'll say this. If you asked me this question, and this is how I'm being honestly, like I truly believe I could have beat Corey that night. I think I had the tools. I could have beaten Corey that night. Now I'll say this: Corey is a stud. I mean, obviously we
Hmm.
see he's doing that. He's a stud. Now, and everybody thinks from me every fight, but also I can put my ego aside and be a realist because I know I first of all say I have no doubt that I had no doubt that Corey would end up where he is one day after meeting him on the
Hmm.
show one day. I mean, the guy's a phenomenal. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's very gifted. He's an extremely hard worker,
Yeah.
and he has some of the best cardio I've ever seen at
Hmm.
205 pounds. And now he's taken that to heavyweight,
Hmm.
and he's just a bad dude. But I
Yeah.
think I think he was still green enough at that time in the finals that I had the skills I could have beaten him. Now, if you ask me truthfully, if we were to rematch a year later or 18 months later, do I think I could have beat him? Probably not, because I think by that time he just was that good
Hmm.
that he probably would have beat me if we would have rematched even a year later. But I think I had the skills to get it done. But the game plan was to kind of stick and move on him, avoid the takedowns, and just
Right.
kind of try to beat him up. But where I really fucked myself in that fight was I was kind of locked in, and I had to have a sports psychologist point this out to me. What happened? I remember like before the fight started, like I got kind of too caught up in the moment, right? And what I mean by that was I started crowd gazing. I was looking all around the crowd. Like we're in Mandalay Bay, sold out. Like this is a
Hmm.
big fucking deal. And this is where Corey really shined because Corey has competed in stuff for longer than me at a higher level. So he's a better competitor than I am, especially at that point. It probably wasn't as big a deal to him. But I remember getting caught up in the moment before that fight, like looking around at the crowd, like it was so fucking loud there. I was just like, damn. I was like, there's a lot of fucking people in here, right? And so what happened, which I didn't realize at the time, is like that caused me to have like a delayed reaction for the fight. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? That put me like a couple seconds behind the
Yeah.
action because What happened was where the sports psychologist explained to me, he's like, you took yourself from competitor mode to spectator mode,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he's like, you're all caught up in the, and then all of a sudden the fight's starting, and you're like, oh shit,
Having to catch
now
up.
we got, yeah, now we got to fight. And so it was like my brain was a couple seconds behind the
That makes total
action.
sense.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so that's why I think, and I felt it too. And so I was just already 2 seconds behind the whole fight because of that. Not taking anything away from him by
Right.
any means. Obviously, he's a stud. Definitely wouldn't want to fight him now. And like I said, if if we would have fought a year later, he probably would have beat me then too, because I think he just got that good that quick. But yeah, I mean, I'm super happy for Corey. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yeah.
Actually, I sold Corey a watch, a Rolex, like probably it was like 6 months ago, 8 months ago. So we still talk on Instagram and stuff every now and
Okay.
then. And he still seems like the same guy, man, that he was like when we were on the Ultimate Fighter. So it's cool to see that he's like
Mm-hmm.
that guy. He isn't despite all the money and fame he still seems like the same guy. And it hasn't changed him, and I really admire that about him because he's a good dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. Everybody loves Corey. Your final UFC fight came against Sean O'Connell. Um, if I remember right, it was a performance of the night, wasn't it? Fight of the night.
Fight of the night, yeah.
Yeah. Um, in a fight like that, when you're in the middle of it, obviously everyone watching cage side was enjoying it. Are you able to enjoy the process of the fight during the fight?
What do you mean by that?
Are you able to when it's a fun fight, when it's a more fun fight for a fan to watch, does that make it more fun for the fighter in the fight? I mean, does it feel any different for you when you're in the middle of a fight of the night as opposed to say maybe a boring fight? Are you able to enjoy how well the fight's going?
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever really been in a boring fight per se.
Well,
I
no, I
think,
don't mean you personally. I just mean like you hear fighters say that was a fun fight.
yeah,
Are you able
it
to
was a fun
enjoy it
fight.
while it's happening?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I had a great time. I felt good for that fight. I felt good for that fight in the sense of the way I was performing. I don't like to say this because I don't want to sound like it's an excuse, and because we all have shit going on. I don't know, but I was sick for that fight too, which really kind of
Okay.
fucking hurt me going to the third round. I had cut weight, and I got real. I was living in California, and it was the weather. We were in Boston. It was fucking cold, but I ended up catching a pretty bad cold before that fight. And the last thing I wanted to do on fight day was fight. And I remember going into that fight thinking like I had to try to get him out of there in the
Hmm.
first like round or round and a half because I wasn't going to have the cardio to push hard for 3 rounds. But as far as I felt like I performed really well
Hmm.
in that fight. I just got tired going to the third round. I should have taken him down, but I was headhunting. I think if I would have taken him down, even if I would have just laid on him in the third round, I might have been able to get the win. But I tried to knock him out, and I went to the firefight and had some Sean. That guy's tough as nails,
Hmm.
man. I hit him hard with a lot of shots. I think I hit him with like I went back and watched the fight, and I think Rogan counted it was like 27 knees or something in the first round. Like I was straight kneeing him, I was clinching him. Like I need that dude in the ribs so hard, like
Hmm.
hard as I could, and I hit him with some real hard shots. And I can't take nothing away from Sean O'Connell because that dude's tough, man.
Hmm.
He took everything I had that night, all the best shots, and he walked through them. And he caught me hard in the third round. And I didn't even realize that that was kind of like a standing knockout type of deal. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like I thought he knocked me out, and he was like, "No, no." He's like, "You wouldn't go down." I was like, "Oh, really? You'd have told me I was knocked out for 5 minutes on the mat. I'd have believed you. I didn't know what happened. I just remember,
Wow.
I just remember throwing, and then the next thing I know, the fight's over. I thought I got knocked out, but yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that was a fun fight though, for sure.
Okay. You leave the UFC, you have 3 more fights, and then MMA ends. Why?
MMA ends. MMA ended because it had to end.
Okay.
So I was trying to get back to the UFC, and it was the hardest decision I had to ever made, but I really didn't have a choice. Like I was at a point where I went from having like 70 or 80 grand in the bank and no debt, and once I got cut from the UFC, and I had like after my last fight, um, I kind of got robbed. I got robbed a decision in Canada from what a lot of people told me. I felt like I won that fight 2 rounds to one, and I went through a real bad string of injuries and surgeries after that kind of like
Okay.
crippled me financially. So I tore my pectoralis major tendon, which is like
Ooh.
it's like the ACL of your upper body. It runs
Mhm.
underneath your pec here up into your shoulder.
Yep.
Well, no, I'm sorry. It runs into your pec up into your shoulder, and then it connects right here on your bicep. And I
Okay.
tore that, so it's kind of like tearing your ACL of your upper body. So I was wrestling with Stefan Struve, and we kind of both slipped on the mat,
Mhm.
and all both of our weight landed on my shoulder, spiked it in the mat. I
Ooh.
I tore the tendon off the bone right there, so they had to cut my shoulder open here and then anchor it back, and that took a long time to fully heal from, like over a year before I
Yeah.
was like back to training. Um, then shortly after I came back, I broke my jaw in training. It wasn't even like a hard shot. I've been hit way harder than that a million times.
Mhm.
I think I wasn't biting down on my mouthpiece quite all the way.
Okay.
Um, and the doctor, he was saying, he's just like, man, it was just like the perfect spot for you to get hit. So cracked my jaw all the way down through here.
Mm.
They put this plate in my jaw from here to here. It was like a big custom like chin strap thing, right?
Wow.
And then so come to find out, because at the time my girlfriend, she was working in the dental field, and she knows like a lot of the oral surgeons and stuff in the area.
Mhm.
And this guy that did my jaw surgery, apparently he's not the best guy in South Florida.
Okay.
He's got the reputation of a lot of people getting infections and stuff from what the other doctors were saying. And so
Okay.
my jaw got infected really bad.
Mm.
I had to clean it out. I went back, they cleaned it out, they did another surgery, cleaned it out. About 3 months later, it got infected again. They had to go in, clean it out
Oh
again.
man.
And this whole time, like all I ever known how to do is fight people for money or teach martial arts. And I'm not
Mhm.
making any money doing either one. So I'm just
Yeah.
burning through money. And so got infected again for the third time. So I'm
Dude.
like, yeah. And then so she was like, that's kind of, she was doing some research, and she was like, don't go back to this fucking guy. Like, you need to go see this other doctor. He's the best in the area, and blah, blah, blah. Of course, he didn't take my fucking insurance that I had. So he ends up he hooks me up on a cash deal for like 5 grand or something. He's like,
Mhm.
hey, he's like, at this point, what he thought was, either way, it was creating problems. Like
Mhm.
the plate was supposed to be a permanent deal, but he thought maybe my body was rejecting it,
Mhm.
and it was already healed. So he's like, we need to just take the plate out.
Yeah.
And so I ended up paying him like 5 grand cash, and we did it in his office. Like he set me up in an office same day, and he ended up removing the plate. And after that, it was good. And I have nerve damage in
Mhm.
on the right side of my face, like my chin and everything is like kind of numb, and my like lip is like half numb on this side because they cut it open so many times in a short time, damaged the
Yep.
nerves. Um, but yeah, and then after that, I mean, I went from having like 70 grand in the bank, no debt, to like 30 grand in credit card debt, and I was so fucking broke. Like I literally couldn't go through another training camp if I wanted to. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like I wasn't going to make any money for the fight either. And I was super depressed and just kind of struggling at this point. Like I'm getting shit from my family, like
Right.
they're not support, like, oh, you told you should have went to college and this and this. And I was just so broke and just kind of just,
Down.
I was in a rough spot. Yeah, like my whole life falling apart. Like I just went through a breakup with my fiance. My mom had gotten sick. We almost lost my mom shortly before that.
Phew.
So it was like my family, my relationship at the time, my finances, everything at one time just fucking hit kind of rock bottom. And I almost felt like it was kind of like God telling me, like, you got to turn the page. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I had a lot of concussions at that time too, and I think we trained old school, a lot of hard sparring. And,
Mhm.
if you look at my earlier fights, I was always a guy that could take a hard shot. And then it seemed like towards the end of my career, that kind of started fading. So I think it was just too much hard sparring and fighting and not taking times off,
Right.
taking enough time off, kind of started to weaken my chin. And then at that point, I felt like it was just like I said, it just literally, I didn't have a choice but to turn the page.
Right.
So that's kind of what happened. You want me to kind of go on to what happened after that, or what I had to do or figure
Sure.
out?
Yeah, I'd love to hear how you kind of dug yourself out of that spot.
Yeah. So at this point, I had no option but to turn the page on fighting. It was the hardest
Mhm.
decision I ever made. I was super super upset about it. I'd given everything to fighting. I'd sacrificed more than I would even probably ever admit to anybody.
Mhm.
Um, and so that was the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life, was accepting the fact that, like MMA runs over. There's no
Mhm.
question. You have no choice. So um, at this point, I started following like some business guys on Instagram, Grant Cardone and some other guys, and listen to podcasts. And I was so fucking tired of being broke too.
Mhm.
It's like when you're a fighter, you gotta live broke. Very
Yeah.
few people make any money, and so I was like, man, I'm tired of being broke, dude. I'll pretty much do whatever it takes at this point to get some money. And I'm not, aside from breaking the law or doing some
Right.
unethical shit. So I was like, I got to get into sales, right? I started following Grant Cardone. He was the sales guy, and started following, looking, people on Instagram. I was like, man, I got to get into some kind of sales job because that's the only way I'm going to make any real money. I don't have a degree. So I kind of narrowed it down to life insurance or real estate. And life insurance kind of seemed like the quicker path because people, like, you had leads, like a lot of people in life insurance buy leads, and it seemed like a quicker path to making money than real estate.
Mhm.
So I met some guys that were supposedly making a lot of money doing life insurance down in Florida, and come to find out they weren't. But I worked with an agency for about 7 or 8 months, and I knew something was kind of not right when they had me. I was doing all right, making sales and stuff. They had me on this call, and they were like, "Oh, Matt, he's killing it, and he's gonna make 100 grand this year, and this and this." And I'm thinking, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I was like, I'm about to quit. I was like, I'm about to quit because I'm not making any money, you know.
Mhm.
And I was like, something's not right. I was like, I know people make money doing this. I was like, I don't know. I decided to figure it out. So I started digging around. I was like reading on life insurance forums and stuff on the internet. And then I started learning because you don't know what you don't know.
Mhm.
And what I realized, like, they were way overcharging me for my leads, and my contract, my commission level was super low compared to what it should have been.
Uh-huh.
Like way low. Like 40% low. Right. So
What?
I found this guy. Love this dude. He's one of my good friends now too. Actually, a guy named Josh Jensen. And I found this guy Josh on the insurance forums, and he's talking the same game everybody's kind of talking, but I was at so in life insurance you get paid off the annual premium, right? Let me pull up my calculator here so I don't sound like a dumbass. Break this down for you. So let's say you get paid off the annual premium, right? So you sell $100 a month policy, that's $1,200 a year, right? They advance you 75% commission. So if you're at 100% commission, you're getting a $1,200 commission and they advance you 75%. So you sell $100 a month policy, you're going to get a deposit a couple days later for $900, right? That's just easy math, 100% commission. So I was at a 70% commission and I was paying like $45 for leads. And then Josh was talking about hiring people on this insurance forum starting at 110% commission and like $30 leads. I'm like, 110%? Is that even possible? You can go over 100%? I'm like, no fucking way. So I get a hold of this guy and I start talking to him. And he's a sales guy, right? Like the rest of them. And he's talking the big game and this and this. And I liked what I heard, but it was, I'm scarred at this point because I just
Right.
heard the same spiel from these other guys I wasted fucking 8 months of my life with, not really making any money. And I was like, look, Josh, I was like, you sound like a straight shooter. And I was like, you sound like you know what you're talking about. And you don't sound like a bullshitter. I said, here's the deal. Show me that you're actually making money. Send me your fucking bank statement. If you're really making as
Right.
much, I was like, you're really making as much money as you say you are. You shouldn't have any problem showing me.
Prove
Just
it.
show me the money's real. I was like, I'll book a fucking flight tomorrow and come up there for you to train me and show me how to
Mhm.
do this. And he's like, I know the game. He's like, I got you. So he sends me a bank statement, and this dude had like fucking 250 grand in his checking account. And he showed me all he had like $15,000 in deposits in like fucking 5 or 6 days or something. Josh
Nice.
Jensen had his name, everything checked out. I was like, yeah. I was like, this guy's the real deal. He ain't no bullshitter. And so I flew up and met Josh Jensen in Delaware. We were in Wilmington, Delaware in the hood. And we're selling final expense like burial insurance,
Mhm.
to low income people, low income seniors, and um, so that's what we're doing. But the first insurance I was doing was like mortgage protection. People just bought houses. This is like lower income people. They're looking for like a burial cremation plan,
Mhm.
right? And I'm going with Josh Jensen, two white guys going through the hood of Wilmington, Delaware, right? And like all black neighborhoods. And Josh is just I'm just a fly on the wall. I'm recording every one of these dudes' presentations.
Mhm.
Everything he said, I listened to, I wrote it down, and he's like, it's a copycat system. He said, don't try to reinvent the wheel. He said, say everything exactly how I say it, the same way I say it. And I was like, I can do this. And so I literally tried to be Josh after that.
Mhm.
And I had another truck at the time, and I sold my truck to buy some leads. I sold my truck for like 5 grand or something.
Mhm.
And I had like 5 grand in leads that I had bought. And so I was like, where I lived in Fort Lauderdale at the time, like it's a super tough area to sell. One, because people are assholes in Florida. Number one. Number two, everything in South Florida is a gated community,
Mhm.
right? So it's bad for life insurance because in life insurance, you got to be able to knock the door, right? Because some of these leads, there's no phone number on it, or sometimes you go call them and they're going to tell you no on the phone, right? But
Mhm.
if you tell me no on the phone, I'm coming to your house 5 days later, like you didn't tell me no, and I'm just going to knock on the door and pretend like I was helping your neighbor and try to get
Mhm.
in, So it's like it's hard to do that down there. So I what I would do, I was running leads up in like it was Volusia County in Florida, which is like
Yep.
where Daytona is and all that
Mhm.
area. So I had to drive fucking 3.5 hours north because that's like the first county you can get to in Florida, it's like everything's not gated,
Mm-hmm.
So I'd drive to Volusia County on Sunday night. I'd get an Airbnb, stay there Monday through Friday, sell, and then come home on the weekends. And I had to do that for like a year. And so I was terrible at first. I was a fighter trying to transition to the real world, and like I remember calling Josh. I'm like, man, fuck these people. Like I was like, they're telling me they didn't fill it out and this and this and this. And he's just like, look, man, he's like, you ain't a fighter no more. He's like, you need to relax. He's like, just fucking. He's like, they're gonna say this, and I give that dude. He had patience with me because a lot of people probably wouldn't have wanted to deal with my ass at the time. Like I was going through a hard time, stressed out, but Josh was a good mentor. He stuck in there with me. He always believed in me. He's like, I know you can be good at this. And it took me a couple months to get through the learning curve, man. And then I remember I wasn't selling shit. I had burned through like $5,000 on leads. And like, I think that the only reason I didn't quit is because I couldn't quit. Like, right.
Mm-hmm.
When am I going to go back to teaching fitness and martial arts and not make any money? I was like, I know it
Right.
works. Like, I know people make fucking a ton of money doing this. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him do it. Like when I went out with Josh for those 4 or 5 days, he made like 10 grand in like 4 days. Like I saw it with my own eyes, and I'm like, I know this works. And I was like, I'm just not there yet, And so I wasn't going to quit. And like I said, it's not like a lot of people when it comes to sales, because I've trained some agents since then, a lot of people right when they're about to get over that learning curve, they quit. You know what I mean? They get scared. They run back to their 50, 60 grand a year job or whatever they had. And they were like this close to breaking through, getting
Mm-hmm.
over that learning curve. And it was just a fighter in me. I was like, I can't quit. I don't have anything to fall back on anyway. I was like,
Right.
I know I could do this. So eventually, like a couple weeks later, man, I fucking just started killing. I made like $3,000 the first week. Next week, I made another $3,000. And then before you know it, I was just going hard anywhere. Josh was like, hey, there's a bunch of leads here. I was flying to different states, renting cars. I was going out of town once a month, buying up a bunch of leads, renting a car, going to sell in this state, and just traveling around, just running wherever the most leads were.
Mm-hmm.
The more leads you have, you can buy your way to a 6-figure income. Even if you suck, you just got to get in front of more people, right?
Right.
And so yeah, I went from fucking being broke, having like 30,000 in credit card debt, to paying off all my credit card debt and having like 40,000 in the bank and no debt
Nice.
within like 9 months.
Nice.
Just fucking hustling,
Yeah.
And that was kind of the turning point in that, and then at that point, I'd already been out of the game for a few years. You know what I mean? I was like, the fuck, I'm gonna go back to fighting, making no money, being broke again, and getting hurt. Like for what? To go to the
Right.
UFC and get shit on and make fucking no money.
Yeah.
And so and MMA is a game too. You can't. It evolves so fast. You can't take time off. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, at this point, I was, I don't know, 33, 34. But I'm at the end anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I got into the business world and yeah, and kind of took off with insurance. And now, so I moved from. You want me to kind of keep going and fast forward to like the whole timeline
Well, I
after
was
all
about
that life after
my
fighting,
next
or
question was going to be about the BKFC and how you first became exposed to it.
oh, so I seen BKFC, right when it first came out. I actually talked to them about getting the fight back then.
Okay.
We didn't. Yeah, we did. It didn't end up working out for one reason or another. I don't remember. Probably money. Um, and at the time, but yeah, I seen it when it first came out and was always intrigued by it. You know,
Okay.
but now, yeah. If
Okay.
that answer your question, what?
Yeah. I wanted to mention someone, Andrew Kloster.
Yeah,
Without him, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I met
yeah,
him BKFC Texas a couple months back. I guess maybe 6 weeks ago now. at the Fighter Hotel in the lobby and visited it with him for a little while, and he put you and I together. How do you know Andrew?
I met Andrew through a business mastermind here in Dallas.
Okay.
It's a like an entrepreneur business group called Apex, and I met Andrew through there, and yeah, that's how we connected. So, and we started. He knew who I was, and we started talking about fighting from the beginning. And him and I kind of developed a friendship, and
Hmm.
hang out from time to time, and go to rock concerts and stuff together.
Awesome.
So
What was the last one you went to?
we went to Megadeth, All That
Oh
Remains.
yeah,
Yeah, it was Megadeth, All That Remains, and Mudvayne.
nice,
Yeah, it was a badass show.
nice. I would love to see that. I haven't
Yeah,
been.
we're going to Pantera in September.
Hell yeah, I haven't been. I haven't been to a concert in probably 7 years. I was lucky enough to go see Slayer, Lamb of God, Testament, Anthrax at Slayer's final world tour, and that was amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I went to have you ever been to Rockville in Daytona Beach?
Hmm.
Man, you got to go next year. It's the fucking
Big
concert of
festival.
it's the concert of all concerts. It's like 4 days, and
Whew.
I mean, and it's like every band you can think of. Any band you've ever think of is there.
Okay,
Yeah, we
Rockville.
went. Yeah, we went in May. Like a couple years ago, I went. Metallica did 2 different sets on 2 different days.
Nice.
I mean, they'll have like Mudvayne, All That Remains, Chevelle, Offspring, uh, Ozzy, Godsmack. Literally, like every fucking band you can think of is there.
Wow. What
Yeah.
what what are you going to bring to the BKFC that's going to make you successful there?
Well, a couple things. One, I'm a banger, dude. You know what I mean? Like that's my type of fight. Um, is I fucking throw. You know what I mean? I throw hard, and I'm a tall guy. I've got range. I've never got out of shape since I retired from fighting, but I never got out of shape.
Hmm.
Right, like 39 years old, bro.
You're doing better than me.
I'm 246 pounds right now. I'm in shape. I never got out of shape. I still work out every day. I didn't train martial arts as much every day,
Hmm.
right? But I never got out of shape. I always worked out, always did circuit training. So never got out of shape. I'm tall, I'm long, I hit hard, and like that's my kind of fight, dude. You know what I mean? Like there's no running. You're not gonna shoot on. I don't have to worry about you shooting on me because you don't want to bang. Like we're
Hmm.
gonna we're gonna bang and somebody's gonna fall. And this is a great style of fight for me because you watch all my fights aside from the Chris Fields fight, right? And the only reason that fight was boring and I wrestle fucked him is because I had to, because I had to fight again 6 days later. And if I would have got cut, then I would have been out of the tournament.
Right.
But if I'm not always, I don't win all my fights all the time, but like somebody's going down in one of my fights. They're always exciting, and I have that style. I fight and I fight hard, and I'm not point fighting out there. I'm getting you out or you're getting me out. And that's the way
Hmm.
I've always fought. And this is a sprint. That's the way it's going to be, and
Yeah.
it's just throwing hands. So yeah, I mean, my fights they're not going to be boring. They can't be. It's impossible.
Hell
Not
yeah.
with this style of fighting.
What uh what do you think your face looked like when you heard about the $25 million tournament?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it really. I'm sure everybody's trying to get into it, but um, yeah, I couldn't believe they're throwing out that kind of money now. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like finally, because UFC, they're still starting guys at 10-10, despite the sale, despite everything.
Yeah.
They were starting guys at 10-10, fucking 15 years ago.
Hmm.
So it's completely fucked. There's a lot of things. I know a lot of stuff being involved in the class action lawsuit and talking to some of the lawyers.
Hmm.
And, it's what they're doing is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
just in
Yeah,
general. You know what I
I
mean? And
agree.
now they're trying to they're trying to appeal the Ali Act for boxing, and they're trying to move into
I saw
boxing
that.
and control boxing and control the money there too. And
Hmm.
they're even taking a stab at jujitsu.
Yep.
They waited for jujitsu to get big enough. Now they see the money. Now they're trying to move in. So they're literally trying to take over all of combat sports and control the money for the negative side for the fighters.
Did you see
So
who BKFC just purchased?
I didn't know. Who did they just purchase?
Lithway.
Who's Lithway?
Oh, Lithway. It's considered the most brutal style of fighting on earth, and I will probably get half of these particulars wrong. I feel like it comes from Myanmar, and I believe you probably look it up faster than I can explain it. Um,
Lithawa.
yes, I believe so. I think it's called the
Lith-
style of 9 points or something like that. Um,
Lithway fighting.
elbows, knees, kicks, punches, headbutts. Uh, yeah, all that.
Originated in Myanmar.
Yeah,
Okay, let's see. Yep. Can you stand up strikes, kicks, knees, elbows, punches, headbutts?
yeah,
Bare knuckle.
yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
Check some of that out.
Art. So it's basically art of 9 limbs. So it's basically Muay Thai, bare knuckle with headbutts.
Essentially, yeah, and they don't move like both guys aren't moving like if you were watching a Muay Thai fight. Similar, but man, it's whoo whoo. Check out some
So
Lithway.
so they're gonna be introducing that too.
I believe so. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
very cool.
What let's
Yeah,
see here. How close is you being in the BKFC to happening? And when can we expect to see an announcement about that?
um, I talked to Andrew. Talked to Andrew this weekend. He was working the Philly show. He said he talked to Andy Hall,
Hmm.
and he said he remembers me. He wants to get me a fight.
Nice, very
So
good.
me and Andrew were supposed to talk to Andy Wednesday, actually. So I think it's going to happen. Can't tell you when. I would like it to happen early October because I got annual enrollment for Medicare coming up, where I make a lot of money in 2 months, and so I need to focus on that. But
Right.
I'm hoping I can get a fight on that October 3rd card before
Okay.
that. And actually, he said too, I'm getting ready to go on a 10-day motorcycle trip.
Hmm.
We're leaving Thursday and riding up to Sturgis and then taking the long way back through Montana and stuff. And Andy told Andrew that he wants me to come to the Sturgis show and talk to him while I'm up there. So I'm probably gonna end up going to
Okay.
the bare knuckle show in Sturgis while I'm up there and talking to those guys.
That's awesome.
Um, but it plays an advantage to me. One, there's a couple of reasons why this is good for me now, especially compared to some other guys. One, I've had a lot of time off.
Hmm.
So my chin's healed. You know what I mean? I haven't been getting hit in
Hmm.
the head a lot,
Yeah.
sparring hard like a lot of these guys who've been fighting forever. So in theory, my chin should be a lot stronger.
Hmm.
Two, I've had 29 MMA fights. I've been cut one time in all my fights,
Wow.
and it was my last fight. That's the only time I've ever been cut and gotten stitches. So I don't have scar tissue and beat up face and all this stuff like a lot of
That's
these
good.
other guys do. Like I
Hmm.
said, been cut one time in 29 fights. So
Wow.
in theory, too, I shouldn't cut as easy.
Hmm.
Um, so all that stuff plays to my advantage, And three, I don't have to fight for money. I'm not fighting because I need to get a check or
Right.
whatever. Um, I'm actually going to lose money doing this because it's going to take time away from me focusing on my watch business
Hmm.
and Medicare and selling and doing what I do. It's going to take time away from me making money because I'm probably not going to make a lot of money in my first fight, you know. So I'm actually going to be losing a lot of money doing this, focusing more time on training than I am on working. But I've got my whole life to work and do regular shit, right? Like I'm
Hmm.
getting bored. I want to get back in there and I want to get a couple fights before I'm too old to fight people, and then I got to just work a regular job and be,
Right.
be doing boring shit the rest of my life. So
Just be Matt instead of Gutter.
yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to let the dog out a few more times. You know what I mean? And it's
Scratch
not,
the itch.
yeah, it's not about money. I don't need money. I don't need to fight for money. Like I said, I'm going to lose money. I'm just purely, it's like I'm an amateur again. I'm just
Hmm.
fighting because I want to fight, not because I have to fight. And so
Right.
that's powerful for me because I just get to have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not emotionally attached to the win or the loss financially.
Hmm.
I'm just fighting because I want to fight, and that makes me more dangerous because I don't need to fight. I want to
Right.
fight. That's the difference. And
Passion.
yeah, that's it. And so it's good. It's good time for me. Like I said, I haven't fought in a while. I don't think that really matters so much. And now, if we were talking about MMA, of course, like I wouldn't even
Right.
consider going back to MMA. Way too much time off. But bare
Hmm.
knuckles different. This is 2 minute rounds. It's only boxing. I've always been a striker. I've been in the gym training since we've talked about this. I've already had a couple sparring rounds. I ain't lost it, dude. I
Right.
never did. I always coaching. I was always still sparring a little bit. I still got it. I still got it. I'm still in shape. I'm still fast. I'm still explosive. I'm faster than most of these heavyweights. I move like a 205er, but now I'm bigger. I'm 246, 248 pounds at a
Hmm.
heavyweight. But I still have that 205 style. So I'm going to be faster, more conditioned than a lot of these
Hmm.
heavyweights, but I'm going to hit as hard as them. And
Hmm.
it's not going to be good for them. I'll tell you that.
I believe you. What advice would you give a young up and coming MMA fighter?
Ooh. You know,
Best advice you have.
what would have kept me in the game longer, I wish what I would have done then is you got to have a backup plan or like some type of career. You know, if you really
Hmm.
want to be a fighter, try to be a firefighter, you know, because being a firefighter, I just wish I would have done this when I was fighting. I probably would have had a longer career, you know, and been able to fight longer. If I would have been a firefighter, like, look, I mean, Stipe was a full time firefighter. That guy's
Hmm.
a fucking UFC champion, right?
Yeah.
So being a firefighter is good because it's a type of job where you can make enough money to get by. And that's important in fighting because when you don't have to fight for money and you take the financial pressure off for each fight, you can perform better. You
Hmm.
know,
Sure.
I never really did that for myself. So it was always like, fuck, I gotta win this fight, blah, blah, blah. But it's like now, like it's like it don't even matter, dude. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna be so calm. If I would have had that when I was fighting, you know, so I would say you gotta go all in, but get a job as a firefighter, get a career going on the side,
Hmm.
a backup plan, because it'll take the pressure off. And being a firefighter is good because you don't have you still get a lot of time off. You know, you guys work
Good
2 days.
insurance.
Yeah, they work 2 days, they get 2 days off.
Yeah.
They build a lot of paid time off. So it's really like a part-time job at that point
Yeah.
with the amount of PTO you get and the days
Hmm.
off, it's really like a part-time job. So
Yeah.
I would say get become a firefighter or something,
Okay.
and you'll have a longer career. You know, just find something outside of fun at fighting
Hmm.
where you can make good money, and it'll take the pressure off and keep you in the game longer if something goes south. You don't want to end up like me where you hit a bad string of injuries, you burn through some money, and now you have no idea what the fuck you're gonna do,
Yeah.
and you got to go all in on that to try to figure it out. You know.
Yeah. I ask everyone this next question. Any era in their prime, who are your picks for the top four best fighters ever? It could be any combat sport. Your Mount Rushmore of combat sports athletes. Who are the top four ever?
Well, number one, the greatest mixed martial arts fighter of all time is John Jones, right?
There we go.
Anybody who any weight class, any era, anybody who argues that, disputes that, I just think you're pretty ignorant. You need to take another look.
Haters.
Hater, take another look at the hard facts.
Yeah.
So let's start at the top, right? John Jones is the greatest mixed martial arts fighter that ever lived, probably ever will live. We may never see someone as dominant as him ever
Yeah.
again. Just phenomenal, once in a lifetime type of athlete, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, Khabib. Obviously, you got to put Khabib probably right underneath him. Fedor
There we go.
Emelianenko. Back in Fedor's prime. I
Hmm.
mean, he was the baddest of the bad.
Yep.
And then I would say Anderson Silva.
There we go.
When Anderson Silva in his prime. I remember huge Anderson Silva fan.
Yeah.
When Anderson Silva came on the scene in the UFC, he was just fucking wrecking people, and he
Yeah.
was
The way he
making it.
made Chris Lieben look in 30
Chris
seconds. Oh
Lieben,
my gosh.
James Irving, like all those guys. I mean, he
Hmm.
was just. It was like he was like a video game
Yeah.
character. He just go out there,
When
bing,
he put his
bing. I
back on the
mean,
wall against Brazil against Bonner.
he just made these guys look so below him as far as skill, and it was so dominant.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a good top four.
yeah, I mean, that's just looking at the facts right there. No bias, no hating on somebody because their personal life decisions,
Right.
nothing. I mean, we're talking about the best of the best off the top of my head right now. I mean, maybe there's one I'm missing, but I don't think so. And then right
Right.
underneath that five might be like a GSP or somebody, but
Yep.
I don't think he's quite in the top four compared to those four.
He's definitely my number five.
Yeah, he would probably be my number five too.
Okay. This next section of questions is the final one. These are designed to make you more relatable to everyone else that's going to be watching. These are kind of pick one or the other questions. Tell me which one you like and why. Some of these will be ridiculous. Some of them hopefully will be funny. Some of them you'll have to think about. But here we go. Being background Virginia and Texas, I have to know, what do you like better, pulled pork or brisket?
Brisket.
There we go.
Yeah,
You like some
man,
burnt ends?
yeah, oh yeah, man. I'm telling you, I never really knew what good brisket or burn ends was until I moved to Texas.
Hmm.
But and there's levels to that too, right?
Hmm.
Texas, as far as my travels in the different states I've lived in, best brisket and burn ends. But if you guys ever come to Dallas, you need to go to a place called Hutchins.
Okay.
They have two locations, one in McKinney and one in Frisco. And I've been to every fucking barbecue place around here. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is the best. This is the
Sure.
best." Dude, I'm telling you, none of them are close to Hutchins.
Hutchins.
Hutchins brisket and burnt ends is the highest level you'll
Okay.
ever. I mean, I don't know what they do. It's the best of the best. Like their brisket is so good. Like it's like you don't even really have to chew it. It like just melts
Yeah.
in your mouth.
Oh,
Insane, insane.
there we go. Okay. It's Sunday. Who do you root harder for, Cowboys or Texans?
Cowboys or Texans?
Football.
Oh, college, the Texans, right?
No, Houston Texans, pro team.
Oh, Houston. Are they a pro team? Is it the
Yeah.
Houston Texans? See, that shows you what I know. Uh
Probably the Cowboys then.
yeah, I guess the Cowboys. I mean,
There we go.
I don't really watch a lot of NFL or TV in general much these days, but even though they suck, you can't you can't live in Dallas and not like the Cowboys, So I
That's what
gotta
I
root
figured.
I gotta root for the Cowboys, but
Okay.
I still have never been to an NFL game though yet in my life. That's one of the few things I've never done. I wanted to go but man, not like I can't afford it, but it's like
It's crazy.
these cowboy tickets are like $400 or $500, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It's like I got the money, but I'm like, dude, do I really want to spend $400 or $500 to go to a football game? It's like I'm not into it that much, especially for a team that's not that good.
Yeah.
But
For that
eventually,
money, you can go to Knucklemania.
yeah, yeah, or fuck, dude, that's a lot of gas money on the Harley.
Yeah.
I have a lot more fun putting $400 in the tank on a Harley
Hmm.
and ripping around and getting a hotel room or something. Shit, come up there where you're at. Come to Arkansas. I'll go ride 5-6 hours up to Eureka Springs or something.
Eureka Springs is beautiful.
Yeah,
Love Eureka Springs.
I'd rather ride my Harley up there and rip around for a day or two and get a hotel and spend $400 or $500 and go to a Cowboys game.
There you go. Yeah, I would too. All right. Let's see here. Would you rather be punched in the face once or sit through 4 consecutive Saturday AMs of life insurance seminars.
AMs. What's an AM life insurance seminar?
Would you rather get up at 8 o'clock in the morning for a life
Oh,
insurance seminar 4 Saturdays in a row, or get punched in the face once?
dude, that's easy. Come on. Real question. Get punched in the face once.
There we go.
Actually, get punched in the face 3, 4 times.
I figured. All right.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
not even close.
what do you prefer, a Rolex or a Patek Philippe?
Ooh, what kind of Rolex and what type of Patek Philippe?
I'm
You
going
know,
to go.
there's levels to that question.
I'm going to go root beer with factory bezel, and you
Uh,
take your pick.
Are we talking about all rose gold root beer or the two-tone root beer?
I like the two tone.
Yeah. Um. Now, if we're talking like an all gold paddock, like a was it the 5199R or something like that, or 5190R?
Hmm.
Say paddock, yeah, definitely.
Okay. You know way more about watches than I do, but as I've told you
Yeah.
previously, I'm starting to watch these guys on YouTube and some of the shorts flip these watches, and I can't remember who makes it, but I have the name Royal Oak in my head, and those are some of the most beautiful things I've ever
Oh man.
seen.
Well, you said that. So, if you can get this on camera here, check this
No
out.
way. Is that what
Yeah,
that is?
that's a Royal Oak Offshore AP.
Oh, nice, man.
Not only that, look, this is a super cool watch. I'm gonna tell you about
Hmm.
this watch because I just got this one. Can you see that
Okay.
pretty good?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this right here is probably one of the most rare Audemars Piguet Royal Oak offshores in existence.
Okay.
This is a limited edition run. They only made 100 of these worldwide,
Wow.
and it was only released on the year 2009. They made 100 of them, and they were only released in the Hong Kong market.
Wow.
This watch is called the Queen's Road. It's named after the first road built in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So the case, it's all titanium, only 100 made, only released in the Hong Kong market. It's probably about as rare as it gets. I just got this watch in a few days ago.
Wow. That's
So
awesome,
yeah,
dude.
pretty cool. As far as like rare APs offshores, doesn't get much better than that.
That's awesome.
All
I
gold
already
piece.
know the answer to this next question. I just want to see the look on your face when I ask it. Harley or Kawasaki?
Come on, man. Harley, man. Dude. So I
I
just
originally had Ducati or Harley, but when you mentioned Harley before, I was
yeah.
like, okay, I already know the answer. I'll make it ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know if yeah, I have to send it to you. I'll send you a picture of it actually on Facebook when we're done here. But
Okay.
I actually finished building pretty much my dream bike as close as it gets this year. I got it built it back in I got it back in September last year. It's a Harley Road King Special,
Okay.
and I mean I did everything to it. I did Olin's suspension front and rear and lifted it, which Olin's is like the top of the line suspension. Like airplanes
Hmm.
use Olin's, NASCAR uses Olin's.
Nice.
So the suspension on my Harley just for the front and rear is $4,500 for a motorcycle. Just to put that into perspective,
That's
it's
more than the estimated value of my car.
it's badass, dude. And then
Wow.
I put a cam in it, dyno tuned it, digital gauge. I mean, I put an obscene amount of money, probably like probably like $20,000 in aftermarket
Wow.
parts and labor on this bike. So all said and done, I've got like a over $40,000 Harley now. It's fucking
Ooh.
all tricked out. I mean, yeah, there's not much left to do. It's fucking badass, man. It's like 120 horsepower, 130 torque. Yeah, it's
Ooh.
fast, so smooth, man. Like I'm saying,
Oh,
like
I bet.
you're rolling like this suspension's a whole nother level. You're rolling like 100 on the highway, and you hit a bump, like it just there's no like, it's just like
Not even a ripple in your coffee.
yeah, you just don't even feel it, man. It's a whole nother
Right.
level ride. It's
Speaking
badass.
of coffee, what do you like better, coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
Are you a 1 cup in the morning guy, or you just chug it all day?
No, just 1 cup in the morning. Yeah, I use a French press too.
Okay.
Get the whole beans, grind them. You know what I mean, and
Hmm.
pour it in a French press. It's a lot stronger that way. You don't lose the antioxidants. It's not all watered down that you get from like the water machines, like the
Hmm.
filter coffee. So I could get the whole beans, grind them, pour it in the French press, drink a cup in the morning.
Okay.
Can't beat that.
Both in their prime, who wins, Ali or Tyson?
I would say Tyson, but some
Okay.
people might argue with me on that. But
You can
truthfully,
argue either side of that real
yeah.
easily.
But to be honest with you, I'm also a little too young to really know Ali like that and all his fights. I haven't really seen too many of his fights. So
Okay.
I think I'm probably more biased towards Mike Tyson too, because
Tyson
just because
generation.
because I'm more
Hmm.
familiar with him too. But I mean, I really don't know. I would have to
Okay.
side with Tyson. Was Ali a knockout guy? Was he
Not as
knocking a lot of
not as
people out?
much as not as much as Tyson did. I think what makes it a great debate is Tyson's ability to move around and not get punched or excuse me, Ali's ability to avoid a punch versus Tyson's ability to get inside and land.
Yeah,
Ali's ability to frustrate opponents, Tyson's ability to get easily frustrated. It would have been a great fight. Why hasn't AI put that together for us yet?
yeah. It's not. I don't know. Not the
All right.
same.
This next question: what's your favorite animal at the zoo?
Favorite animal at the zoo? Man, that's a tough one. Um, Probably either like a tiger or maybe like a snow leopard or something.
Okay.
The big
Okay.
cats, I always
Hmm.
big cats are badass, man. They're
You could
fucking
look at tigers all day long, every
yeah,
day, and go back the next day, and they'd still be awesome.
yeah. Tigers are pretty fucking crazy animals. We went when I lived in oh shit, it was actually that guy. You ever seen that show, The Tiger King?
Oh yeah.
There was the guy Mario or whatever from you know what I'm talking about
Hmm.
from the show, the dude Mario. We went, this is before Tiger King ever even came out. I actually went to that guy's place and didn't realize it till after they did the show down in Miami. I went to his place
Wow.
and actually got to play with a baby tiger. They had like little baby tigers that were, and
Before I got banned.
I said they're little, but
Right.
I don't know, fucking dude. You know what's crazy? This little 7 week old tiger, man, that paws on that thing are fucking bigger than any dog you've ever seen. I'm saying
Hmm.
the paws on this tiger are fucking like this big,
Yeah.
dude. Crazy, yeah. So you got to go in there and play and hold a little baby tiger, and yeah, it's a scary animal, man. It's
Hmm.
just to see like how they're the size of like a small dog when
Yeah.
they're a kitten or whatever you call them, and then dude, when they grow up to be fucking 800 pounds, like crazy, really
Yeah.
cool animals, man.
Um, I ask everybody this question. It's a weird one, but everybody has a preference. In your bathroom at home, does the toilet paper feed over the roll or under?
All over, man. Yeah. I argue with my girl about that shit. She'd be like putting it in, it's coming under. I'm like, why you do that? It hangs down. And I like
I
had to
have to
show her,
smash my fingers against the
yeah,
wall to get it.
yeah. I gotta turn it over. I show her. I'm like, look, now it lays on top. Because anytime it's under, it's always hanging low down too.
Yep.
Looks
Yep.
ghetto. I don't know.
It's amazing. About 1 out of every 12 people I talk to is under, and
Really?
I can't get a good explanation. The over people, logistically, functionality, it all makes
Yeah.
sense. I can't get a good
Right.
reason. Just that's just how I do it. That's the answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, I mean, it's just common sense. I feel like
There
you
we
look
go.
at
Yeah.
it.
I've also had people say that they could care less as long as it's within reach, and I think
Yeah.
that's acceptable too.
Yeah, but to your point, I never thought about that. But yeah, if it's under two, you're fucking smacking your hand on the wall.
I'm banging my knuckles up against the
Yeah.
sink every time.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Would you rather spar Francis Ngannou or sit down and have a cup of tea with Jake Paul?
I'd rather have a cup of tea with Jake Paul.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds
Okay.
sounds like a better day.
And this is a Texas question. Let's go back to the old days. You were about to go rob a stagecoach, and you got to take a couple buddies with you to help you out. Who are you taking?
Hmm.
You got to be able to trust them after you get that money.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Man, that's a tough one. Probably have to take my boy Derek back in
Okay.
Virginia. My boy Derek back in Virginia. Uh, and probably my boy Bullard back in Virginia.
Okay.
Derek and Bullard. I grew up with them dudes. I've known them since I was a kid. I
There we
could
go.
trust them, or my boy Steve.
Take all three.
Yeah, take all three of them.
All right. What is something that we've talked about watches, we've talked about Harleys, we've talked about insurance, fighting. What is maybe something that you really enjoy or a hobby that most people don't know about?
Man, to be honest, I don't really have any hobbies outside of motorcycles and martial arts,
Okay.
fitness. You know what I mean? Like I'm either working out, doing martial arts, or I'm riding my Harley. That's it.
Gotcha.
I ain't got time for much else. Um, I like to hunt too. I don't get to
Okay.
hunt too often. I killed my first bobcat in March. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I went down to South Texas, killed a bobcat. We're up all night. I got it. I'm waiting to get it stuffed. It's at the taxidermist now. I'm getting it stuffed.
That's cool.
Like a mall mount. My
Hmm.
first redneck trophy. So hunting's pretty cool, but yeah, I mean I work a lot, and so I don't have much time aside from fitness, martial arts, and motorcycles, and
Gotcha.
nothing. I've never really got along with too many people outside of martial arts or motorcycles.
Gotcha.
Now I'm in the business world, obviously, so I get along with a lot of people in the business world, but that was new
Hmm.
to me. But yeah, that's kind of become like a hobby too. Just how can we level up? Always learning new
Right.
stuff, and yeah, watches. But that's kind of business now too. So
Hmm.
watches, fitness, martial arts, and motorcycles. That's it.
Full plate.
Yeah.
We mentioned some of the struggles that you went through earlier. For anyone that's going to be watching this interview, who maybe right now or maybe in the future is going to be going through hard times, feeling broken, feeling like giving up, sum up a message that those people need to hear about continuing to fight and not giving up.
Yeah, the sunshine always shines after the rain,
Hmm.
and I've been through a lot of dark times in my life. Um, that last bout about 10 years ago through all that was probably, well, no, it was about 10 years ago. I would say shit about 8 years ago through all that. That uh 7 to 8 year ago period was probably the hardest time of my life.
Hmm.
For all those different reasons and some others too. But but it was that final straw of like kind of breaking at that point in my life
Hmm.
to where now like I got broken down so low at that point in my life, like almost to an embarrassing point. But I got broken down so low at that point in my life that now I'm just like my mindset's just like bulletproof. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like like it doesn't. I think I'm at a point now where just everything I've been through in life, like there's nothing that could, like nothing would break me at this point. It doesn't matter what happens. Like my mindset's just kind of bulletproof now where I'm at in
Yeah.
life. And so you have to understand that it's always, you just can't give up. It's you just keep fighting. The sunshine always comes after the rain. It may take some
Hmm.
time, but
Keep going.
Yeah, that's it. You can't surrender. You got to keep fighting, keep pushing, and you got to win the day, right? A lot of
Hmm.
people, just day by day, you have to win the
Yeah.
day. You can't. You need to plan for the future, but you can't in hard times. Uh you can't look too far ahead. You got to just win the day. And the biggest thing I learned from a mentor, which I wish I would have learned this years ago when I was fighting, really changed my life. Every morning, the biggest piece of personal development I could give anybody is every morning, the first thing you do when you wake up, get a notebook, um, and write down 5 things you're grateful for. Like
Hmm.
the second you wake up in the morning, because what that does is it programs your day to start off in a positive mental
Hmm.
attitude. And what you want to try to do is every day you want to try to come up with 5 new things that you're grateful
Yeah.
for. And it gets hard, right? And then
Hmm.
you'll start thinking about little shit like, man, I'm thankful for I'm thankful for ceiling fans. I'm thankful for
That
fucking
toilet paper going over
I
the roll.
yeah, tell everyone I'm thankful for ice water,
Right.
just little stuff. And so
Yeah.
you program your mind to be more positive, and then every night before you go to bed, you write down a win that you had for the day, no matter how small it is. And so what that does is right before you go to bed, you're putting your brain in kind of like a celebratory
Hmm.
situation, so you're starting your day off with positivity, gratitude in the morning. At night, you're reflecting on your wins for the day. um and that right there will change your life, change your
Hmm.
mindset. And I
Absolutely.
think everybody should do that now, not just whether you're having I mean, everybody should start doing
Hmm.
that now. If you listen to this and hear this, start implementing that. I challenge you to implement that. And I promise you, if you stick to that for 90 days straight, message me on Facebook and you'd be like, damn, that fucking changed my life. Because it will
Yeah.
change your life for sure. And I did, yeah. And that's something you want to stick to for life. And
Hmm.
I wish I would have learned that when I was fucking 8 years old.
Right.
But personal development and all that stuff was something I focused real heavy on after my mixed martial arts career.
Hmm.
But I wish I would have learned about all that stuff kind of before.
Gotcha.
So that's another advantage I have to getting in the bare knuckle ring now is
Hmm.
I've done more personal development over the past 8 years than most people will do in a lifetime. As far as reading books and listening to podcasts and different stuff. And so I'm just a beast, dude. Physically and mentally now on a whole nother level. So
Hell yeah. All right. What is the best way for fans and friends of yours to keep up with you?
connect with me on Facebook, Matt Van Buren, my Instagram, MattVB757.
Okay. All right.
So those are the two major social media platforms I use.
Okay. Matt, I am out of written down questions. Is there anything else you'd like to share, or maybe anyone you'd like to shout out before we get off here?
Um, you got any topics or anything you think that you'd like me to kind of touch on?
Nothing that I haven't written down, really.
Um, well, let me plug the watch business. If you guys
There
are
we
in
go.
the market for a timepiece, Breitling, Omega, Panerai, Rolex, Audemars Piguet, holler at your boy MVB. My Instagram is MVB Luxury. That's my business page. I've made a lot of connections over the years. I
Hmm.
can get a lot of like all these hard to get Rolex models and different watches that people can't get or find. I can get them like snap of a finger
You're
within a
the
day or
man.
two. Yep, I've met a lot of big dealers, know a lot of big dogs in the watch game, so I can get a lot of stuff people can't get, and it's been doing pretty good for me. Um,
Awesome.
and yeah, just stay tuned for bare knuckle because when they put me in there, I'm in there for a good time, not a long time. I'm I'm coming in there to sit
Awesome.
somebody down, and I'm gonna fuck somebody up for sure. No
Well, I
doubt
bet you
about
can't
that.
wait to throw that first punch. I bet you're going to throw it
Yeah.
so hard.
It's man, I'm telling you, like
You throw your shoulder out.
it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Like people like, oh, you haven't fought in a while, whatever. Like that that doesn't really. I don't think it means that much, really, because dude, I've had 29 MMA fights. I've been
Hmm.
doing this shit. I've been fighting my whole. I've been doing this shit a long time, fighting, competing, and where I'm at now in life and my mindset and my personal development, that shit don't really matter. The only thing I'm
Right,
concerned of is I don't like revert back to MMA mode and fucking leg kick somebody or knee them in the chest or something when we tie up. And you know what I mean? Just natural instinct being an
right.
MMA guy. You know, I've seen
Sure.
that happen a couple times in there. So
Hmm.
hopefully I'm more worried about keeping it boxing than I am worried about any ring rust or anything like that. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
Well, I can't wait to
should be
see it.
good. Yeah.
Matt, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate you sharing
Yeah.
almost 90 minutes out of your life. I tell almost everyone at this point we've talked on here long enough and shared messages on the phone. I feel like I can consider you a friend at this point. I hope you consider me one as well. I'll get this uploaded to YouTube and I will send you the first copy if you want to watch it. Tell me you don't like it. I'll take it down. Thank you again, man, for your time. It's been an honor.
Yeah. No worries, man. Appreciate you. It was good chatting with you.
Very good, man. Have a great rest of your evening.
All right. You too. Take care.
Bye bye.